Hello everyone, welcome to Computer Science 190. Welcome to this informal environment where I'll be trying my best to teach you 190 remotely, I guess, Computer Science 190 class. So before I jump into today's lecture, 17th, I just want to let you know that how we're going to do the labs. So for the labs, I will send you the assignment and I will also solve that. I would like to challenge you to solve that assignment first yourself, but also there will be a recording of me solving that assignment. So I will solve that assignment. I will solve the problem with you. You will need to, I want you to solve that your way, okay? Maybe a bit different. I want you to change something in it. I want you to format the code and I want you to submit it to the Blackboard, okay? So basically, if you don't want to think much and you want to get a good grade, what you can do, you can just copy paste my code, type up my code, make sure it works, format it well, and submit it to the Blackboard. But if you really want to succeed, I would, and if you really want to know more, I would recommend first trying to solve the problem your way, okay, without my help, and then basically look at my solution as a reference. That's my advice. But of course, you don't have to. So that's why we'll do that. Also, tutoring will be available, most likely. So we're working very hard on that now to make sure that Caleb and Aaron can answer your questions. They will also be online, like everything these days. What else? Any other announcements for you? As I said before, you're more than welcome to watch lectures from 227, 318, 401 classes, and also I will create a separate series about career search, jobs, just like tricks, tips, everything I know about the career, because I think it is important for some people to know, maybe not necessarily at your level, although I would personally get to that as quick as possible, because again, the most important thing in my opinion, for the college career is to get an internship. It's one of the maybe second most helpful thing you can do to help yourself succeed. Okay. What else? So if you have questions to all of these lectures, you can send me an email. So that's option number one. You can also comment below the video so that everybody sees that. What you can also do, you can send me if you have a question about the homework, for example, you can send me the code of your homework and just explain me what you've done. Like, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done that. It doesn't work. Can you please help me? I don't want you to kind of spend 5 minutes trying to solve something and then send me the code. Okay, I will not be able to help in that case because you have to put your work as well. So you can comment below this video. In the comments, you can send me an email. We can have a conversation over during the office hours. I will send the link to my calendar. You'll be able to book an appointment, like 15-minute appointment with me, and then we'll go over Zoom. Maybe we'll share the screen and I will explain you something, kind of like tutoring, I guess. But if I tutor you, that means we need to have we need to be able to share the screen. That's important. What else? Well, probably that's it. Okay, cool. So today, by the way, all the lectures will be a lot shorter. They will not be 75-minute long. Okay, so I will be talking quickly. I'll be I will be up to the point. I will not be digressing. I'll not be deviating to any other topic. I'll try to make it short, concise, and to the point. Okay. Plus, also you can increase the speed of the video. Plus, also you can jump to sections of the video which will be in the time codes. Okay. Cool. Okay. So today we'll be talking about methods. Today's lecture will be even shorter than usual. Okay. So. First off, let's talk about pass by value. As we discussed before, when you invoke a method with an argument, the value of the argument is passed to the parameter. This is referred to as pass by value. Okay. So for example, we already talked about that example, but let's do it one more time. X is equal to 1. Okay. Before the call x is equal to x, increment x. So we call this function. And in this function, what do? We accept x and we call it n. We do n++, so n is being incremented. Print out n, and then after the call, print out x. okay? So the whole idea, the whole trick is this. Obviously, here x is equal to 1, so we print out 1. Obviously here n is equal to 2, because n was 1, now it became 2, so now here it's 2. The question is, what is x here? Is it 1 or 2? Kind of, is that the same x, or is that x which is being incremented, okay? So the right answer is what? Hopefully you said 1, I hope. Okay, so here we're gonna have 1. Why 1? Because passed by value, right? So we're passing in the function, we're passing not x, we don't pass the variable x, we're passing the value of the variable x, okay? So we're passing x, which is being assigned to n, it's being incremented, but when n is being incremented, it has nothing to do with this x. That's why whatever you do to this n is not gonna change this x. I hope that makes sense. So even if you divide it by 0, multiply it by 0, if, like whatever you do, that x will still be 1, and that's why you will always have 1 here. There are cases though, and we'll be talking about it later, probably in the next lecture, when you pass in an object to a method and that you do something to that object and it's being changed. Okay, so you pass in, for example, x, something is happening here, and then x is different. But it's not for primitive data types. If you pass in an integer, a double, a float, a character, okay, so not a string. With strings it's different. Yeah, if you pass in any of them, they will not be changed. Okay. Whew. Yeah. So today, in today's lecture, I just want to solve a problem with you. I just want to show you how it's solved, and your homework will be based on this problem. The homework will be also short as well. Yeah, so as a side note, so obviously nobody was ready for this crisis, for this recession, for these circumstances. Okay, it was difficult, I guess. Maybe it would be easier to predict. I don't know. But okay, so nobody thought it would be that serious, of course. Nobody was prepared. And that's why we're trying to do our best, our department, our university, to accommodate you, to make sure that you can finish the semester, you can still get the education at the same level of quality. If you have suggestions, ideas, comments, please let us know. Let me, Professor Rao, or just any professor. Well, definitely me. Send me an email if you think that something can be improved. Okay. As of now, again, for my particular classes, I think that this coronavirus thing actually can be even better, because you don't have to watch my lectures if you don't want to. You can increase the speed of the video on YouTube. You can jump to time codes, so it can actually be more convenient for you. And you can also watch lectures from other classes. Okay, so that's completely for free. Okay, cool. Anyway, so let's try to solve it. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to write a method with the following header to display an integer in reverse order. Okay, public static void reverse. For example, reverse 3456 displays 6543. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways to solve the problem. A lot of different ways. I want to show you one of the probably the most elegant way I know. So if you, by the way, that problem is actually very popular in the job interview. Okay, so if you you definitely need to know how to solve this. Okay, I'm gonna show you my solution. In my opinion, if you show that solution to the people who interview you, I think actually that would be very, very cool thing to have. Okay, so good skill to have. One of the most important things to remember is this. What is it asking you? It's asking you to display an integer in reverse order. To display, not to actually create another integer with the digits in the reverse order. It just asks you to display. To display. To display. Okay? So you need to be careful about what it's asking for. To display. Okay? So if you ask just to display, there is a trick. There is a trick. Okay, so let's create this method, public static int, reverse int. Okay, and here what we're going to have is this. Okay, so what do we know? What do we know? int, no, void, okay. I'm going to be using the online compiler, but then I'll switch very soon to Eclipse, such that you will see on my screen, you will see exactly what you would see on your screen as well. Okay, cool. So what do we need to remember? We need to remember that if we do system.out.println, if we print out, let's say, n %10, what are we going to get? We're going to get the last digit of the number, okay? So, right, yeah. If I get the modulo, the remainder of the division, 1234 over 10, okay? So the remainder will be the last digit. It will be 4, okay? If I divide that digit by 10, if I say n is equal to n over 10, that's going to give me 123 times 4. Sorry, 123.4. Okay, what is but since n is an integer, we cannot have any digits after the decimal point. That's why 123.4 will have to be converted into an integer. How's that going to do that? It's going to so-called truncate. That's a technical term. Truncate this 0.4. Okay. So in this case, is going to give us 123. Truncate means remove some part of a number or some part of a data structure. Truncate is a technical term for computer science. It means to remove some part. Okay, cool. So what's next? Yeah. So now if I do the same thing, check this out. What's going to happen? I'm going to have 43. Why? Because 1234 modulo 10 gives me 4, okay, it prints that out, then I divide n by 10, so n becomes 123, then I take modulo of that, so like I do n %10, it gives me 123 %10, which gives me 3, which is the last digit of 123, okay. Now if I do this again, okay, what is that gonna give me? 432, okay? So as you can see, we start printing that number out in the reverse order. Why? So what do? We extract the last digit, print it out, remove the digit. Extract the last digit. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So I extract the last digit, 4, print it out, then remove it. Then extract the last digit, print it out, remove it. Then extract the last digit, print it out, remove it, and then extract the last digit, print it out, and remove it. So in order to do that, I need to do it one more time. Okay. What do I have now? Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. The only problem though is that it prints out one digit per line, which I do not need. So I need to print them out again. The key here is that you need to display it. So write a method which displays. Okay. Doesn't calculate, doesn't create a new integer. It just needs to display. Okay, so in order to fix it, I just need to change println to print. Just to remind you what println does. Println prints out the number, goes to a new line. Print prints out the number and doesn't go to a new line. So next time you print out, it will continue where it stopped. Okay, let's run it again. Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay. Now, that would work. I mean, that works, kind of, yes. However, there is a problem. The problem is that I don't really know how many digits I have here, right? So there are 4 digits, but is that going to work for like 5 digits? The answer is no, it's not. Why? Because it does that thing when it extracts a digit, prints that out only 4 times. So you see it does 5, 4, 3, 2, but what about 1? It doesn't do that. So that's why when we repeat that, and also, yeah, so since it's not clear, right, and we repeat the same thing multiple times, that sounds like we need to have a loop. Okay, so I'm going to create a loop, while loop. Okay, so what do I constantly repeat? I repeat these 2 lines, right? Okay, and what is the condition? So how many times, how do I know when to stop? How many times am I going to divide, extract the digit, print it out? How many times am I going to do that? Okay, good question. So So in this case, I need to do it one more time, right? It just stops one step earlier. Okay, so let's consider this number 12, okay? If we just imagine that a loop is not there. If we do this to 12, what happens? 12% sign 10 gives us 2, we print out 2, okay? And then n over 10 gives us 1, because 0.2 is truncated. Then print out 1% sign 10 gives us also 1, right? So the last digit of 1 is 1, okay? And then n divided by 10 gives us what? 0. And then there is no point of doing anything to 0, because 0 divided by 0 will always be 0, and 0% sign 10 will always be 0 as well, okay? So that's why the moment when we need to stop doing that thing is when n becomes 0. In other words, while n is not equal to 0, or you can also say while n is greater than 0, but we can say not equal to. Then we do this. 21, okay? Perfect, it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect, okay? So that's gonna work for any digit. Yeah, that is kind of, well, that's kind of, yeah, well, it has to be there. Yeah, I was thinking maybe we should remove these zeros, but the number will be different though. I don't know. Anyway, so that's how it's done. Again, so the reason why I like it so much is because usually when I give the assignment to students, they're trying to think of a way to change the number. So they're basically given a number, they want to change the order of the digits, and then they want to print that number out. That still can be done. That is a bit more complicated. It's still possible to do. Okay. But this way, you see, I solved that problem using like 3, 4, or 5 lines of code, using the while loop and 2 lines in the body of the loop. That's it. So that's how easy that is. Yeah, cool. Hope it makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Your homework, can you guess what will be? Yes, so your homework will be to change this method such that it actually changes the number. So I want you to design exactly the same method, which will work that way. So you need to reverse a number and then you need to return it. So you don't have to print it out. You just need to change the number. Again, as a hint, you also need to do this or this. You also need to do this, and you also need to do this. So you need to like add some lines of code, but the core is the same. While n is greater than 0, you need to extract a digit using this, and you need to remove one digit using this. Okay, that's the core. And maybe multiply something by 10, maybe, or 10 to some power. I don't know, just, yeah, just knock yourself out. Try to solve it your way. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this class. I'll see you next time. Bye.